guys, how you doing? This is a response to Mrminidreams video, and Chevy made a response video to this as well. I just watched. Uh, it's about shows and how you feel about shows. Uh, One thing I have to say is no matter what show you go to, who the club is, who the organization is that hosts the show or judges the show, there's always going to be somebody that doesn't like the outcome. It's like anything else we do in life. There's always something that somebody has an opposition to, which is fine. Everybody has their own opinions. Whether you like the outcome of what happens or not, it's everybody's choice. It's how you deal with it in the end that matters. For an instance, if you go to an automotive car model show, they have, numerous categories. You almost always have a miscellaneous categories because there's something that doesn't fit into the muscle car or the tuner class or the custom or the street rod, which is fine. So you might have something that doesn't fit in that class, so you put it in the miscellaneous. Well, then in walks the guy with the military displays and slaps down the submarine in the miscellaneous class. Okay, it's miscellaneous, I guess. And you bring your submarine to a model car show. It's kind of like bringing a boat to a car show. It's not a boat show. Anyways, not to get off subject. To win that class, take first in the miscellaneous class, that's fine, it's miscellaneous. To be judged and win an overall best of show at an automotive model contest, a submarine should not even be looked at for that. I get looking at it for the miscellaneous class, but you shouldn't even think about it for best of show. Everybody puts in all their hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, shall we say, to build model cars, and be beat by a guy that brings a submarine. Go to the IPMS. That's where the submarine belongs for the best of show. If you take a model car to an IPMS, the ones I've been to usually have a class, best of automotive, best of military. Judging in a show, no matter who judges or how they judge, it's the same thing. No, not everybody's going to be happy. The shows that I've been to over the past 2 years, there's only one show I attend where the contestants, two shows that I've attended, that the contestants, participants, not just people that show up, just the participants, judge the show. If you enter the show, you're a judge. I think that's more than fair. You're still going to have your cliques, as Mrminidreams says, and you're still going to have your little groups. But in all fairness, that you're being judged by your peers, and it's a little bit higher on the fairness scale. Those two shows being, one is an NNL, and the other one is the show that the club I am a member of does. We let our participants judge. As far as clubs hosting a show and entering a show, nah, ain't happening. That's not fair because usually the club judges the show. So your buddy over there club member is gonna get a little bit more of a wavering vote than Joe off the street out there. So yeah, I don't agree with, if you enter a show, you shouldn't be a member of that club or that. It's just not, to me, it's just not fair. IPMS, there's numerous affiliations of IPMS branches. You get the US, and then you have all your regionals. You have and a little bit different story. Yeah, they kind of know each other, and yeah, kind of wavers. But if you've been around the military guys, the IPMS guys. They're all a group, and they're all pretty fair when it comes to judging, and they nitpick every little item. When it comes to automotive, the IPMS shows I've been to will ask for people to help judge in the automotive, because a lot of them, I don't think, want to mess with it. And I know some of them that I've met, you show them a bill and they go, "Why is this like that in a car?" It's just the way it is. That's the way they build them. Some guys, military guys aren't all car guys. Not all car guys are military guys. So it kind of rolls out in the end. But it's fair enough that they ask for volunteers to judge automotive. As far as what shows to go to, IPMS or club shows, you never know until you go. Our local IPMS puts on a great show every winter and February. They do a wonderful job of hosting the show. They do a great job of judging the show. It always seems to be fair. Never have any issues. Excuse me, I was interrupted by some freaking telemarketer. Remember where I was at was the IPMS show here locally is pretty fair. The couple that I've been to seem to be fair. One of them I go to isn't that big in automotive. It's just a fun little show to go to. It's amazing what you see when you go to different shows. Everybody has a different style. When you get into drag cars, everybody builds a drag car the same way. They're just all out, super detailed, super gorgeous, unbelievable work. You just get to sit there, and to me, I don't get into all that super detailed stuff. I don't have the patience for it. So it's just like I'm in awe with these guys run fuel lines, nitrous lines, brake lines, parachute lines, parachutes. But that's the kind of stuff that I like to go to a show to see. Stuff that I don't normally do. Then you see stuff where, I enjoy building the rat rods. So when you see other rat rods show up and the ideas these guys come up with and stuff they incorporate into their builds is actually pretty awesome. But that's why I go to a show. I build for me. Winning awards is secondary. It's fun. There are a few instances where I've been to shows, and I'll give an example. I'm not going to say what show. It was motorcycle class at a show we went to. All the motorcycles on the table. Everybody had their builds, nice builds, great looking stuff. And of course, just being a bystander, not a judge. Thank goodness. There's too many things to look at if I was judging. Sometimes the outcome isn't exactly what you expected. I've seen subpar builds place over excellent builds, in my opinion. The craftsmanship is top notch, and then some guy brings one he whipped together in a day or two, and this other guy's, you can see he's got months of work in a build, and is beat out. So awarded for that class. I saw this last year, so I bought some motorcycles. And I built two of them. One of them was a get to know the kit type deal. I just put one together a couple weeks to see how things work, see what I can do with it, what kind of ideas I can come up with, and then a few months later, I took a month or so and built another one. Needless to say, my objective was to win first place in that motorcycle category. Surprisingly enough, I did win first place in that category, and how I beat the second place motorcycle is beyond me, because it was phenomenal. Detail work, detail parts, fuel lines, elbows, fittings. Just, I still can't figure out. But what it shows is it's all in the eye of the beholder. If you're the guy judging, if you like hot rod style, 50s hot rods, black, white walls, plain, simple interiors, you're gonna lean more towards that. Like Mrminidreams says, it's just kind of how you waver. Whatever pops to you is what you're gonna pay more attention to. So it's not. I just go back to building for me. I don't build to please anybody. As long as I'm happy with it, that's what matters. And that's the way everybody should build. Sure, every now and then everybody can sit there and say, "Yeah, just enjoy the shows. I just build for me." But in the back of your mind, being a competitive nature that we, the human race, are, you're always going to have an inkling of, I should have won that, and I could have won that. Well, you could have. I could have. Any of us can. It's just a matter of how much time, effort, and energy we want to put into that build and that project. And that's great. Without our competitiveness, we'd all be building the same cars. You'll see something at a show and go, "Man, that's just too cool. I need to step that up to the next level on my next build when I do something. I need to try and do something a little bit more different than that, a little bit better than that." And that's, I think, where we all get our progress from. You have to have goals. Where you get the goal, the idea for the goal, is up to each individual person. If you've seen my last rat rod, the 1940 Ford pickup, my goal is to surpass and exceed the detail and the craftsmanship I put in that. I've already seen a couple things that I could have done differently and done better. So next time, I'll apply those. But yeah, with my rat rods, I'm my own inspiration. I'm my own challenger. I just want to build the next one I build better than the last one I built. What else is that? I made a couple of notes. It's kind of cheesy, but I think I about got it all. I think shows one particle. You can go to shows. You can go to whether you enter or not. It's up to you. It's different. If you've done regular car shows, it's kind of the same thing. Only there's usually more of them. Instead of 50, 100 cars, you might have 300 cars to look at. And let me tell you, they come and go, and then you get guys that show up at the last minute. And it's like, oh no, I missed that. I got to go back and check that out. Or somebody will say, "Did you see so and so's or such and such?" And I must have missed that. There's just so many coming and going. Sometimes it's hard to see them all. And when I take pictures, it's the same thing. Sometimes there's just so many you can't get them all. So yeah, you'll miss a few. But also brings to a point. Most of these shows, almost all these shows you go to, the registration starts 9, 10 o'clock. Cutoff is usually noon. Seems to be about the average. 12 o'clock is the cutoff. So if you show up at 12.01, no, you should not be able to enter the show and be judged. If you want to pay the fee and put your car on display, have at it. Should that car be judged? No. You were late. Rules are rules. If you're going to let the guy at 12:01 show up late, you might as well let him come in at 1 o'clock. It just, you got to draw the line somewhere. Had that happen before. Not in the class that I was in. I just don't think that was fair. Some other people that I've talked to about that kind of feel the same way. If you show up at 12:01 and you miss the deadline, you shouldn't be judged. Um, if you go to a show, you don't like the way it's run, and you don't like the outcome, you don't go back. Find a different one. There are plenty of them out there. I know guys say, we don't have shows here, we don't have shows. You gotta look. Sometimes you'll be surprised. I found shows I didn't even know about around here. Even the guys in the club didn't find out. Didn't know about. Sometimes you just gotta look for them. You might have to drive a little bit, but there are plenty of shows out there. Like Chip says, you know, he goes to some and, you know, stay the night, making a little vacation. And that's what my plan is for next year. It's nice to go around to the shows that are local. At this point, I've done, farthest I've been is a 3-hour trip down to the Louisville show. That was a really good show. There were a few builds and a few contestants I recognized from some shows here locally. But there was a lot of stuff I didn't see and a lot of builders I didn't know. So yeah, you get out of your comfort zone, so to speak, and you come across different builds and different builders and different styles. And that just kind of helps. You go to the same shows, people bring the same thing, especially in a year's time. You know, you get guys that build 2 or 3 kits in a year, and they'll take them to the show. I do it. You're going to see those, all the shows that we go to. So when you're local, you start to see the same stuff, and it kind of loses its appeal a little bit. So if you get out, take a weekend trip, take 3 or 4 days, go to a show that's out of town, stay the night somewhere. If you're married, girlfriend, take them with you. Go out, have a nice dinner. You're out of town, you're getting away from the house, taking a break. Go to the show, you see some different stuff. I'm pretty fortunate. My wife is not opposed to going. There's a couple she's been to, she doesn't care, and I don't care if she goes back with me. She wasn't too enthused with them, and honestly, they weren't that great from my point of view either. But then there's shows that we enjoyed going to together, and people that were there we met, had a good time. So when it comes to shows, it's bottom line, it's all in the eye of the beholder. The beholder being the judge. Whether it's me, you, 4 guys they hire off the street. If there's a genre that they like, if they're into street rods, they're going to pay more attention to street rods. And same with any kind of judging. There's always going to be a controversy. Bottom line is, go to a show, have a good time. Don't go expecting to win. You don't always win. I'm like Chip. I don't ever expect to win a best of show. I don't have the patience to put that kind of time and effort into a build. I just like building. I like building, I like painting, I like doing different. And different doesn't usually cut it. There is always a possibility. If a submarine can win first best of show in a car model, excuse me, at a model car show, then there's a possibility that anybody can win best of show. So, if shows is what you want to do and how you want to build, how you want to gear yourself towards your builds, nothing wrong with that. With anything in life, if you do it for yourself and make yourself happy, in the long run, everything works out, and everybody, well, not everybody, but you'll be happy, and that's what counts. Enjoy your builds, enjoy building them, enjoy sharing them. That's all I got. This is going to be a forever long video. I think I'll call it, Brian, I beat you. Got more time on this one. It's a long video. So I've rambled enough. I gotta make another video for some show me the junk. I'll talk to you guys later. Everybody have a good afternoon, evening, day, wherever you are, and we'll see you.